All right, welcome to another episode of Dr. Joe's Trains. And oh, by the way, I'm Dr. Joe. So we got a lot done in the last couple of weeks. This week is school, or spring break at school, so I don't have to teach. What are the major accomplishments? My goodness, almost too many to list. As you can see, I began putting down my cork roadbed. I didn't really like how I glued this piece, so I got better at gluing as I went and laid down the cork for my two main lines, these two. I had to replace this double crossover because I glued the throws. Again, you have to learn the hard way. This is a runaround track. I'll show you that more here in a few minutes. Kind of show you a couple of buildings that I've got from Menards. This is the Rocket Diner. I'm just testing them to make sure that they work. This one smokes, so I'll be anxious to put some water in it and see it smoke. This is the American Power unit with the pass-through. So that'll be a spur that'll carry those two Peabody coal cars. I love coal. You can see that I'm also experimenting with ballast, and I'll explain that in a minute. This track here is just a spur that allows me to sort of back a train in here before running it straight into the hidden staging yard back in the utility room. So I got a church over there. I got this Fury Motors car dealership, and that rotating thing on top is for a Chevrolet. I got to find a HO scale Chevy model, something like my Silverado, which is what I drive. Here's the Menards Country Inn and Suites. Neat unit. That'll go on my main street. Not sure how that's going to look. There's Grandpa Jack's hobby shop, which is really neat, plus the billboard behind it. Not sure where any of that'll go. This is from Woodland Scenics. It's one of their light-up, built-ups. I'm not sure where it'll go. They'll all go on my main street eventually. We'll see. So down here is the switching for that spur that feeds the National Power and Light building. So coal cars will be backed into there. And then some more spurs here to serve three primary industries, which I'll talk about in a minute. So now we've got the two main lines down here, fully corked, fully glued. I got smart about my gluing. I just use white glue, spread a very thin layer of it, and then hold it down with weights. You can see the weights that I use. There's J. Shepherd & Sons, the dog food factory. That'll have its own industry spur. The Sprecher, I'm not sure how to say it, brewery right here, it'll have its own spur. And there's one of my grainers that'll serve the brewery. I have another car I'll show you in a minute. This is the Morton Salt factory. I got this one at a discount because it was broken. You can kind of see where the fencing is broken. I'm going to do something with that. I'm not sure what yet. This is a Menardsville train station. It'll stay there. Another double crossover down here that wasn't ruined because I got smart about gluing. A couple of re-railers here. This one and this one will be part of the main street that'll come into my layout, the middle of the layout. Let me get my car going here. I want to show you. I've been running trains and cars just to make sure I have no derails. I want to make sure I've been laying down track accurately. This will be the track to support this, which is a neat little trolley car, and it'll run into my city center. I'm not sure yet where that'll go. Okay, now let's talk about ballast. I'm not really keen on the ballast that is available for the most part because it doesn't match the cork. And I don't want to use a lot of ballast. So I have made my own ballast. You'll never guess what's in there. Well, let me show you what's in there. You might guess this anyway. I'm using Woodland Scenics Fine Ballast Buff and Woodland Scenics Fine Ballast Brown, those two. And then I got smart. I think I learned this from somebody on YouTube. Might have been Top Railroad, I'm not sure. And then I dried coffee grounds. I baked them to get out, you know what, stuff. Uh-oh. My train is stuck. Oh, it went off. Went into one of the spurs. I must have had that thrown without thinking about it. I'll go fix that in a minute. In any event, so I mixed in that fine buff and the fine brown ballast and added a heck of a lot of coffee grounds. And look how it matches the cork. Almost perfect. In fact, I think it is perfect. So again, coffee grounds, probably 2/3 coffee grounds, 1/6 fine ballast buff, and 1/6 fine ballast brown. This is going to be an engine shop. This is from Menards as well. The Cripple Creek Engine Works, serviced by a spur, 2 spurs that go into it. You can see my cork here. I'm still laying cork. This is a runaround track here that meets up over there on the south end of the layout. I got to cork that today. That'll be the next project. Again, this mountain here is left over from the N-scale layout, and it's going to proceed over this and create a mountain scene in this area where I'll have the tunnels, obviously, and I will have I'll have the trolley track, the trolley go through the tunnel as well, just to give us some interest. You will notice that I got rid of my inclines. I had a 4% incline up and down, and I didn't like it. It really limited what I could do over here to support the engine shop. Let's see, what else? I think that's it. You'll see a bridge over here, which I was going to use with the incline. That's also from Menards, and it lights up. I'm still going to use it, and I'm glad I have insulation foam board down, because what I'll end up doing is carving out a very small lake somewhere and using that as a bridge over it. I'm not real confident of my water modeling skills, so that's something I'll do much later in the process. All right, what else can I tell you about? I'm real proud of that darn ballast, I tell you. And I love coffee, so there's always plenty of ballasting material available here. Oh, here's the switch tower from Menards. It also lights up. I'm going to have to get some more power bricks. I guess I need two more power bricks from Menards. I don't think I have any anywhere, but I'll find them. Let me back up this train, this consist, and so that it's running, and you can see that it's running. Digitrax working perfectly. Just had to throw one switch to transition from N-scale to HO, and got to use the same power and all that. All right, so the switch is now thrown straight. No, this one is not. Oh, you know, the other thing I had problems with was on this switch. It doesn't stay closed all the way with the power throw. I removed the power throw and it stays closed or open, depending on how you look at it now. And I'm not sure why. It was maybe a defective switch, but it works great now with the removal of the power throw. So let's get this going again. You can see the trains in action. And as they go by, I'll tell you about a couple of cars that I got. You know, really at the end of the day, model railroading is kind of an exploration of our childhood. And I've never ridden an Amtrak. Well, no, that's not true. I rode an Amtrak train when I lived in New York every day to commute. But there's a Lucky Logger car that'll service the brewery, and behind it is Oregon, California, and Eastern tall boxcar, a high cube. My dad had an interest in a Lucky Logger distributorship back in the 50s and early 60s. That's where he met my mom. And then my wife, Cindy, is from Eastern Oregon, and that used to be the railroad that serviced Eastern Oregon and northern and northeast California. In any event, I'm running the trains. So far, so good. No derails, except for that one bad switch. But I think I've solved that problem now. All right, so this is a little bit longer update than usual. That is about all I've got. I'll update you again in a few days. And appreciate everyone watching, and welcome to my new subscribers. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much.